Hello, hello, Gemini. Welcome to your June 2018 overview reading. Thank you so much for watching and joining me today. And I would also like to give a huge shout out and happy birthday to all the Geminis who are having birthdays this month. Okay, so I'm just throwing down the timeline right now. The spread is kind of large this month, so I figured I would just save some time and lay it out ahead of time. So I hope you guys don't mind. But the other thing that I want to mention, I'll give the plugs at the end if you want to work with me. But I just want you to know that I'm going to be pulling a bonus card for you for your birthday at the very end, because it is Gemini season. And so make sure you stay tuned, because I'll be pulling a card from the Wild Unknown at the very end after the 3-card pick. Okay, so yeah, and then I'll give all the other details at the end. Okay, let's dive right into this. Okay, so the first card is an Affirmators card for Gemini this month. Divine timing. Everything is timing, and timing is everything. Gladly, I release my concern over timing and let things happen when and as they will. I trust that the divine schedule makers know what they're doing. It can take a long time to reach divine middle management. Okay, so try your best not to rush things too much this month. Things are working out, and one of my favorite, it's in another deck that I'm not using this month. But one of her cards actually says, look at delays as divine opportunities. And so remember that if there is a restriction that you are running into, that it's actually for your benefit, not your detriment. Okay, and then we have authenticity is magnetic. Okay, this is really you feeling like yourself in terms of being able to express yourself. So this is something that you are going to attract the right people, places, opportunities, as long as you are speaking your truth. So that's the big thing with Geminis. Okay, because that's what's going to magnetize what you want and what you're manifesting towards you. Now I have the animal spirit card for you this month. We have sea serpent. This is it has to do with the second chakra, so boundaries, cultivating projects and creative spaces. Remember, this is kind of like how the point in which you're able to create is through feeling authentic, right? It is about that expression. And as you tap into that self-expression, it's going to amplify that part of yourself as well, and confirm that you are, that you're really embracing who you are. I guess that's what I would boil it down to. Okay, now this spread is based off of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I did condense the first 2 layers if you are familiar with the pyramid. So for this base layer at the very bottom, this has to do with your material resources, your home, your your safety, your physical health. This is all about the primal resources that you need. Okay, for Gemini, we have the Fool, setting off on a new adventure, trying new things. I'm also getting that this has to do with your creative expression. That's going to be big for you this month, and it's about trying new things. The Fool is good at that. So if you're low on resources, try something new. If you're looking for a new place to live, go to a place you've never thought of looking before, or somewhere that you kind of have written off, or somewhere that you didn't bother looking into. It's all about trying new things. So that's what the other thing with this is about like the sensual experiences. So taste, smell, touch, all of that is going to be coming up big time for you. Okay, and then in terms of resources, we have 4 of Wands. Yeah, a lot of home stuff is coming up. So how is your home comfortable? How are you making yourself feel grounded and supported in your home, in the physical space which you reside? The more you can embrace that, the more you're going to feel comfortable and confident expressing yourself. We also have Seven of Wands. Doing things differently. So don't worry about other people's perception or judging you or the way you do things. This is really going to propel you forward. Again, authenticity is big, big, big. Like, being yourself is probably going to help you the most this month. So the Seven of Wands is kind of the energy of, I'm doing things differently, and even though I'm risking looking like an outcast or feeling like an outcast, I have to carve my own path anyway. So it's about like rising to the top for yourself. Okay, because if you're living a life based on someone else's standards or definition of success, happiness, fulfillment, you're going to be ignoring a big part of what you desire. And then finally, we have the Magician. Manifestation, manifestation, manifestation. If you don't have a vision board, get started on it. Or however you like to manifest. The reason why I bring that up is vision boards are less about like some like magic hocus pocus that's going on. It's less about that and more about constantly being reminded of where your focus should be. And the more you can focus and visualize the things that you want or the things that you need or what you would like to explore, the more those things are going to come to you. So it's just about when you have your head in the right space, it becomes easier for you to pick those things out in the world. So that is what this is calling for you to do in terms of resources, your primal resources. They're going to come to you like that if you allow them, right? If your internal operating system is resources are hard to get, money is hard to make, then, you're going to have to toss out the playbook and start from scratch, because that's not a way to manifest the things that you want. Bottom line, right? Because they're going to have a hard time making their way to you if you don't believe that they can. So your brain is powerful this month. Don't forget that. Your mind is going to help you if you allow it, right? So, but it does take practice. Now, this is about, this area is connection, intimacy, romantic, familial, and platonic relationships. So the people you're close to, who is your support system? That's what I'm going to be reading here. We have the Hermit. Not as social this month, apparently. It looks like you're working on your own projects. Also, I'm getting that the Hermit is coming up in the area of connection because there's a need for you to kind of tune out the naysayers and people who doubt you. So that's going to be big. Make sure that you are paying attention to very few opinions. Don't go on overdrive with asking too many people what they think, because it's gonna mute your own voice, if that makes sense. Okay, then we have Six of Swords, moving on. Okay, what does that bring up? Some of you might be freaking out a little bit that I'm saying moving on. Moving forward, like what doesn't serve you in relationships anymore? It's a big question worth asking this month. And the more you step into your authentic self, the easier it's going to be for the things that are no longer in affinity with you to fall to the wayside. And that's what you want. As things are being weeded out, it's much easier for what is truly in alignment for you to make its way to you. And that's what the Six of Swords is prompting you to do. Your friendships and community and relationships might be under review this month. It might be something that you are kind of looking at as a point of, change, essentially. Like, oh, there's some things that I need to do differently. Okay, and then thirdly, we have the Queen of Wands. Be your big, powerful self. Authenticity, authenticity, authenticity. You really do feel more like yourself than ever. As the sun, is, sitting on top of your natal sun, moon, or in your first house, it's going to help you to see what it is that you want and need clearly. So this is going to be a month where you can really focus in on what you want. You don't need to focus on what other people want, need, or aspire to be. Okay, so just remember that that is going to be true for both how you get resources or your methods in obtaining the things that you want, as well as the relationships that come into your space. Whether you are, with a long-term partner, or you want partnership, or you want friendships and community, be yourself and they're going to make their way to you. Now, this area is going to be, I kind of want to clarify the Six of Swords. I'll do that in a minute. This is your confidence. So this is like an extension, more of the nuanced expression of the ego. Okay? And we have the moon. I'm getting a big hit on this. Hold on. And the Page of Pentacles. Okay. The moon has to do with not feeling certain about where you stand with other people, right? So this is also the area of, are you respected by others? Are you seen as an equal? Are you able to exist in a way that feels like you are a creative, expansive, unique individual in this world? Like you're special, right? That's what the ego wants. And the ego isn't bad. It's just about, what's going on in there. That's more of what matters. So the moon is just not being 100% clear on it, not being 100% certain on it, having a little bit of that wavering, humming and hawing, especially based on other people's perceptions. So if that, is a big concern of yours, then this is pushing you to kind of go with the flow, lean into the unknown, and it's okay to be confused or not know where other people stand with you, and the way you approach things, because it's none of their business. So let them judge. I mean, what can you do? Nothing. They're going to do it anyway. I mean, so it's just about kind of letting go of that piece as much as you can. And then the Page of Pentacles is saying that all of this is wrapped up in the way that you are changing how you do things and changing your approach. And the more you do that, and the more you shake up the status quo, it's going to kind of, other people might feel like shocked by it, right? But that's how you embrace your individuality, is by doing things the way you want. And then I'm going to clarify the moon. We have Nine of Cups. What you want is coming. So you can, if you can release some anxiety about, is what I want coming? The answer is yes. The Nine of Cups. Make a wish if you want. You can pause the video and just tune in. Like, what are you really craving at this time? What are you really wanting at this time? Because that's what the Nine of Cups is all about, is those deep desires, and those are going to bear fruit, but you have to lead with change and transformation first in order for them to get to you. And then clarifying the Six of Swords, we have the Two of Swords, not being certain. So it's kind of like, I know that I need to move forward or do things differently, or whatever's, your thing is. But this is ultimately about stepping off into the unknown. That's going to give you more power. So remember that. It's a powerful move. It's not, you can, if you want to stay small, you can. But this month is really encouraging you to go big. Okay, and this is your higher self, self-actualization, if you're familiar with Maslow's model. We have the Hierophant. Okay, structure, organization, clarity. The word that's coming up here is values. What do you value? What do you put a high price or a high cost on? Those are the big things that you can actually find within your higher self, and that's what's really coming down, top-down processing, if you look at it that way. The Hierophant is all about personal values, ethics, morals, what it is that you're doing in order to uphold those. And so if you have a strong idea of what those are, it's going to amplify the decisions that you make and make them clearer. So focus on desires, focus on your needs and your wants, and what are those really saying about you and your higher self. Okay, so the first quarter of June, this is where you start off the month. You have the 10 of Pentacles. So this is about you, you know how I said, like, make a vision board. That's what the 10 of Pentacles, and this is 10 of Tomes, but it corresponds with the 10 of Pentacles. Foundation is big. Big picture, macro. What is your big vision? What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to be known for? How do you want to leave an impression on this world? And how are you making that happen? You're building the framework for that, so you're starting to see big picture. Ooh, okay, what do I want? What do I need? How am I going to make this happen? Putting all of those pieces together, and as you do that, it's going to become clear, like, which direction you want to go, what you need to change, what you need to evolve. So make sure you're getting crystal clear about your vision first. That's the first step for you this month. And then we have Ace of Vials, Ace of Cups, abundant self-love. Show yourself exactly what you would show a deep, deep friend or somebody that you deeply care about. Do that for yourself. Have compassion, empathy, kindness, and love for yourself. And take care of yourself the way you would somebody that you deeply care and respect and love. So it's just about sharing that with yourself. You know, a different interpretation is like, yeah, there's opportunities for the right people to come in. Right people, like romantic opportunities, but not everyone is after that. So the way that, you know, I like to see it is, you need to practice the self-love piece, because your relationships and connections are going to be a reflection of the self-love. So this matters even if whether or not you're looking for partnership, whatever you're looking for in community, you need to start by practicing this with yourself, and then it's going to be modeled in the relationships that you cultivate of all varieties. Card number 3, or quarter 3, 5 of Candles, building, problem solving. That's really what comes up here. So if you encounter a roadblock, if you are unsure about certain things, it's really about coming back to your vision, right? Like, how can you either handle things the way that like think about, who am I becoming? Who do I want to be in this world? And how would that person handle the things that come up in my life? And that's going to help you figure out, you know, what do you want to do in terms of a reaction, solving an issue, starting a conversation. Those are all the things that are coming up with the 5 of Rods. Or in this deck, it's Candles, but same thing. Okay, and then wrapping up the month of June, you have the 3 of Bells. So, 3 of Swords, letting go of the old way of doing things. And in large part, you know, that is going to have to do with relationships. There's something about this that isn't working. Something about the way you're doing relationships that isn't serving you. And that's why you have the Hermit. And that's why you have the Queen of Wands. It's like, take time to introspect, move on, move forward, do things differently, even if you don't know where you're going, even if it's unclear, like the Two of Swords, and then be your big self. That's ultimately what this is. But with that comes a mourning period and a grieving period. So I think that's going to become crystal clear as the month goes on, as it carries on. And when you start to do things differently, there's some sadness that goes along with realizing that you're outgrowing people or situations, or that, you know, old shoes don't fit. And it's okay. It really is. Don't worry about the end game if you're in the middle of grieving. Just like, you know, get support, reach out to people who you can trust and love and care about, and honor your process. Okay, as you guys know, unless you're new to my channel, 3-card pick. You can ask a question, you can pick a card, don't pick a card, whatever you want. It's totally up to you. And then don't forget, at the end, I'm going to be picking a bonus card from the Wild Unknown for you for a birthday gift. So go ahead and pick a card, or not. Let's get started. Card number 1, we have King of Cups. The emotional self is going to be on full blast this month. Don't worry about, I notice that a lot of people have anxiety when healing or processing isn't linear, when it kind of has ebbs and flows. But you can trust yourself that even when you have something negative that's coming up, it's being pushed to the surface so that you can process it, so that you're able to work through it. Okay, so it's all in your favor. It's all in your favor. Card number 2, King of Pentacles. Somebody asked about the foot sitting, you know, standing over the head. Don't read into it, because this is the Twin Peaks deck, and a lot of people, the imagery confuses people. Don't overthink it, folks, please. So the King of Pentacles is really about the financial, the professional, the resources that you cultivate. You might find yourself being more materially focused. That's not a bad thing, and that's not superficial. I mean that in order to figure out what direction you're going, that is something, when it comes to resources, that you're going to have to play with and figure out. Okay, so just know that that's going to be a big theme for you this month. And then we also have the Moon. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to not feel confident in the direction that you're going. It happens to all of us. Sometimes we feel like we're spinning our wheels in the mud, or like, what the hell are we doing here? That's a very real human experience. You know, not everything has to be a spiritual phenomenon, and not everything needs to be, you know, a lesson. I think that that's like spiritual propaganda sometimes. If you can find the lesson in something, great. You can do that for yourself, but it's okay to not get it. It's okay to be in that space, because not everyone has all the answers, and there's no reason why you should, right? So do your best not to go into a rabbit hole of, you know, am I on the right path? You're always on the right path, even if you're taking detours. Okay, so finally, the last card that we have for your birthday. I'm not pulling this for any other sign, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Happy birthday, Gemini. Boom, 10 of Pentacles again. Oh my God. If anyone comments, I can only see 9 Pentacles. Do you see the one in the center? Do you see it? Okay, there's the 10th one. Okay, so this is, again, foundation, macro, thinking big. Make space for the nuanced transitions that you're going to experience. Those are going to happen regardless. But just remember that ultimately you have a big picture at work. You have big things that you're doing. You're being your big self. And remember that you have a lot to offer this world. Seriously, we need you here. So it's like sharing your gifts and figuring out what it is that you want to do and who you want to be in this world is absolutely worth your time. But if it gets exhausting, take breaks. Like this isn't a linear process either of figuring out what it is that you want to do and who you want to be. That's always going to be in process. So just honor your flow, honor the way you do things, and this is going to be a stellar month for you. Okay, happy birthday, everybody. That's all I have for the reading. But again, if you are interested in which decks I used, in the description box all the way at the bottom. If you're looking to work with me one-on-one, all of the links to do that are in the description box. My Facebook, Instagram, they're all in the description box. And then don't forget to sign up for my newsletter, and you will get a free birthday reading. It's not personalized, it's another video like this, but it gets sent to your mailbox at the end of your birthday month. Okay, so that is all that I have for you today, and I hope you have a wonderful June, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.